Unfortunately, yes. The UK will subject certain types of income to tax in the UK, even for non-residents. The most common example of this is UK rental income. So people on short-term secondments or even longer-term secondments quite often retain property in the UK and rent it out. The UK will subject that property to tax, property income to tax, at whatever the marginal rate for the individuals is. Jersey will also tax the income. However, because of the double tax arrangement between Jersey and the UK, the individuals won't suffer tax twice, and in Jersey they'll get a credit for the UK tax suffered. Other items which could be subject to tax are if you're undertaking a UK trade and you're a Jersey resident, or if you're in receipt of a capital gain on the disposal of property. That will also generate some capital gains tax. That's quite a new tax which has just been introduced in April 2015. If an individual's absence from the UK is less than 5 years, then any capital gains realised on assets which are held when an individual leaves the UK will still be subject to UK capital gains tax. That gain will crystallise when the individual returns to the UK. There may also be tax in the UK on distributions from what we call closely held companies. So these are companies under the control of 5 or fewer people. That will only come in if the individual's absence from the UK is less than 5 years. Also, in terms of capital gains tax, if an individual sells an asset and their period of non-residence is less than 5 years, and that asset was held at the time they broke their UK residence, then that gain will also be taxable. Inheritance tax is quite often discussed when people leave the UK. Inheritance tax is what's called a domiciliary and situs-based tax. That means it's based on 2 things. Firstly, the domicile of the individual, as in where they come from or where they intend to be permanently. And secondly, the location of the assets. So when we're talking about inheritance tax, we have to look at the domicile of the individual, and the domicile of the individual is not just their residence, it's actually where an individual comes from and where they intend to remain permanently. So whereas you may come to Jersey and have the intention of returning to the UK, you probably haven't lost your UK domicile. However, if you've moved to Jersey permanently with the intention of permanently remaining in the island, then it may be that you've lost your UK domicile. The reason that's important is inheritance tax for a UK domiciled individual is based on their worldwide assets, whereas for a non-domiciled individual, it's only on their UK situs assets. So that's where the assets are actually located. However, even though we term it inheritance tax, certain gifts during lifetime can actually give rise to inheritance tax.